Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we are looking at the Kratos Heavy Assault Tank for Warhammer the Horus Heresy. So first of all, massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us this a little bit early ahead of release to review and share with you guys. This is the brand new heavy tank for the Horus Heresy and it looks really cool. So we saw this in some of the initial teasers and trailers for the game, and it's I guess it's like a chunky Predator by the look of things, and yeah, it looks really cool. So brand new tank that hasn't existed in resin before, which is exciting because it means that we could potentially see other brand new things invented for the Horus Heresy. You know, we've not got the situation where just because it there's not a resin model for it, that it's not going to go to Horus Heresy. They can invent new dreadnought patterns, all sorts of cool stuff. And yeah, new tank. Looks like there's a variety of different weapons on it as well. So you've got a melter weapon, a volkite weapon, and a big kind of like just cannon on the top of it, and various different sponsor options too. So yeah, really looking forward to cracking this open and seeing kind of what the deal is with the tank. I know a lot of people don't like the big dozer blade on the front. I think it looks amazing personally. I imagine you can keep that off if you don't want it though. So let's open this thing up and have a look inside. So here we've got a big chunky box full of sprues. I'm interested to see how big this thing is when it's assembled, because it feels like it should be a fairly decent sized tank. So let's have a look at the frames inside here. So there's kind of like vibes of the Sakaran mixed with a Predator here. So nice idea for a new heavy vehicle. So glad that they're releasing so many of these Horus Heresy vehicles in plastic as well. It really does make it easier to put them together and do some converting. You know, I like building resin models, don't get me wrong, but you've got the simplicity of just being able to clip this out, clean up the parts and glue it together with plastic glue without the added complexity of, you know, dremeling down kind of gates and stuff that you'd normally have. So that looks pretty cool. We've then got the frame with, it looks like we might get two of these with the various tracks. Locators on the bottom of the tracks to make it easier to clip in. I know a lot of old Games Workshop tanks, the tracks weren't the most user friendly. That's something they've definitely improved in more recent kits. And that is a fair size, kind of hand for comparison. It's going to be quite a chunky tank when it's built, so yeah, really cool. Kind of makes sense of this being, I guess, the midway point between a heavy vehicle and a super heavy vehicle. A nice new niche for the Space Marine to have access to. But yeah, that looks really cool. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll have this built and hopefully painted up in Sons of Horus colours as well, because clearly siding with the War Master on it, Sprues and Brews. So we've got that. We've then got the weapon sprue, which is its own sprue, which just suggests that maybe in the future, if they did want to release variants of this, we could get different weapons released over time. And yeah, you've got all the kind of cool and esoteric weapons that existed during the Horus Heresy. So again, I don't know how, or if at all, magnetisable or switchable this will be. I suspect the fact that they kind of go into this turret means that they might not be customizable, but you never know. If you can magnetise this and have the weapon swappable, I'll be doing it, and I'll kind of show you at the end of the video if that is a possibility, because yeah, I think that'd be quite useful and a lot of people would be going for that. But yeah, this is a super nice kit. So this one will be painting Sons of Horus. Can I squeeze one into me Emperor's Children? Hope so. We've got another sprue which looks like it's the kind of reverse. Is it the reverse? I assume it's a slightly different frame. Yeah, it is just the reverse of the other side of the tracks. Again, similar parts, so not too much different to show you there. But it looks like you have got a dedicated left and right sprue, so no mixing up where the tracks go and the like, so hopefully that should be pretty good. Sponsor mount as well. Yeah, cool. So what else have we got in here? Looks like we've got a couple more frames. So we have got, this looks like it might be the same as the sprue on the Rhino. I'll have to double check that in a minute, but it looks like it just eyeballing it. So it looks like we might have a kind of generic kind of crew sprue that is kind of like universal across all the Horus Heresy vehicles. I guess that kind of makes sense, that they can just put this out and then throw it in the boxes with various hatches and crew and the like. So that's quite interesting. And then there's another frame here, which I think is all the sponsons. And again, I wonder if this is a generic sprue that they can use for multiple vehicles with the different sponson options on there. And that might be why we've started to see a few more different sponson choices available, because presumably they can then bring out the same sprue for a Predator, for example, and just have the same options on there. Games Workshop were normally pretty clever in designing the kits so that there's some like future proofing. So if they decide to use it again for a different kit, they can just drop that in, and essentially you've just got the new kind of like main weapon sprue to design. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the instructions of how this goes together. We'll say we also get the same transfer sheet that you get in the Rhino, with transfers for the Imperial Fist and the Sons of Horus, again with them being the poster boys of the new edition. So let's have a look at here and see how this thing goes together. Like I say, it's quite a big kit. I don't think it's going to be too complicated compared to some of the old tanks with tracks that were a bit fiddly to go on. They're all numbered, so it should be fairly simple to do. Obviously you've got the left and right track to build up, and then the main chassis that gets sandwiched between the two of them. Looks like it's got a hull mounted weapon from a heavy bolter, auto cannon, las cannon or Volkite caliber. Again, that looks fairly straightforward to do. And then you've got a choice on the main turret mounted weapon. So I'm thinking that you've got a lid that goes on the top that sandwiches the two parts. That might be the only thing that makes it a little bit difficult to make this a swappable weapon. I mean, it's not the end of the world if it isn't. But you could potentially put, now, some of the different weapon options have different bits that go over them to change the look of it. So like you've got additional kind of heat vents and stuff on the melter gun. You've kind of got like a different enclosure on the back of it for the Volkite one. So if you were magnetising it, you'd probably magnetise that lid and then maybe get these swappable, or just put a generic one that looks okay for all of them. Looking at this, I mean, personally, I'm probably going to build it as Volkite because Volkite's cool. I haven't even looked at the rules yet, but Volkite's just big death rays basically. So yeah, that's probably going to build it. But it looks like if you did want to put the effort, you probably could make that a bit removable so you can swap out some of the stuff perhaps. Again, at the end of the video I'll have the kind of the built one, so I'll kind of have a play certainly while I'm building it and see if that is an option. We've got a whole host of sponson options there. Again, I suspect that's a universal frame that's used just for that. Interestingly, the frame is called frame S, so sponson frame. So yeah, I think that is something that we'll see on other like Predators and stuff. And then yeah, it's a case of just kind of twisting in the sponsons. You don't have to stick them in place, so you can rotate them around. You've got options from the generic kind of upgrade frame for your hunter killer missile, smoke launcher and searchlight. And then yeah, quite a lot of stuff. So it looks like a lot of those bits off that upgrade frame that is in the Rhino box can be used here, so that's pretty fun. I did notice when we were doing the Rhino unboxing that you get quite a few head options there, so at least you'll have some distinct looking kind of gunners across your army. So that's fun. And then we also get the dozer blade that is built up in sections, and then again that's optional. You can either put the toe kind of connectors on there or the dozer blade. Obviously they're going to have different upgrades and values in the game, but for this really I'm going to build what looks cool and then fit it into my army that way. So yeah, so before we go, what we're going to do is have a look at the assembled model and I'll talk you through kind of how I put it together. And here is the completed Kratos, and I've actually got it alongside the Spartan and the Rhino just to show a bit of size comparison. As you can see, it is a bit of a chunky monkey. Obviously it kind of dwarf the Rhino, but it is with the kind of dozer blade on the front. A similar size to the Spartan tank. It's really cool. So we'll just move these out of the way for 1 second, and we'll have a proper look at the tanks. So I've actually painted those up in Emperor's Children colours because I wanted some kind of heavy support to go alongside my Cacophony Heavy Emperor's Children force. And yeah, it is a really, really nice kit. So talking earlier in the review about magnetising it, it's doable, but it's gonna be tricky. You've got, take the turret off, this kind of pivots there, and then a lot of this goes over that gun mount. So unless you kind of put magnets in these parts to swap them out for the bits that match the gun, and then again magnets in the main body, you might have to have this separate as well. It's going to take quite a lot of work to magnetise it, so I just decided to go with the big melter gun because I'm going to build this as like a tank destroyer. The upgrade kit kind of frame that you get on all the vehicles, which contains the crew and the kind of pintle weapons, is really nice as well. I hope that we see some Mark II armour, because it was really fun to paint that guy up. And yeah, there's kind of echoes of kind of a cross between the Predator and the Sakaran with this thing. You've got those classic kind of side sponsons on there, reminiscent of the original Land Raider kit. You've got kind of like the exhaust stacks, that's very similar to the Spartan. You've got a lot of kind of cool Space Marine design elements on here. And yeah, I really, really like this thing. Obviously it's quite a customizable tank. You could build it as like a dedicated anti-infantry tank, as a bit of a kind of jack of all trades, or in the case of this one, it has got all the las cannons and all the melter to operate as a kind of dedicated tank destroyer, just because that was something I was missing in my Emperor's Children, so I decided to go for that. I think I am going to get one to paint up to go with my Sons of Horus as well, and that one maybe go for kind of an anti-infantry kind of look for it. But yeah, it is a really, really fun tank to paint up. Fairly quick scheme to try and get this done ready for the review. I'm probably going to add some more weathering as well to kind of make it look all grimy. I've kind of gone for black inlay on there as well, because I thought it looked a bit more sinister than the white that I've got on the infantry. But yeah, really, really happy with that. It's a big old kit. I think it retails at £70, so it's, you know, it's not the cheapest kit, but you get a big old tank for that. So yeah, I'm impressed with the kit and want to build another one really soon. So yes, that was a look at the Kratos, the new tank for the Horus Heresy. This is up for pre-order today, alongside the Age of Darkness box and all the other assorted goodies that are coming out for it. We have got a load of Horus Heresy content up on the site today, as well as this unboxing. I've got unboxings of the Rhino, which we saw a little sneak peek of earlier, and the Heavy and Special Weapons Squads boxes, in addition to the Liber Astartes and the Liber Hereticus as well, the two kind of army books that are out alongside the initial release as well. So if you've enjoyed this, give us a like, kind of give us a follow as well, and get notifications of when all the new videos come up. In addition to the videos up on the site today, we've also got a load of written articles over on spruesandbrews.com as well. I've got some more comparison pictures of this and pictures of the sprues and all that kind of stuff, so make sure to check that out. And if you are looking at picking up some Horus Heresy stuff, if you use the Element Games link in the description as well, we get a little bit of a kickback that helps support the site as well. So hope you have a great weekend. Hope you're all looking forward to getting started on the Horus Heresy, and we'll see you soon.